what is in this box, in this box, in this box, but we're not gonna open it up, not today. Yeah!
It's out of gas.
Right freaking there.
Welcome back to the garage, man. Today we're gonna be picking back up on the CRV. We have, I want to say, a lot of work ahead of us to get this thing done. Honestly, I don't know how much work it's gonna take. I just know we need to build some over fenders for this thing. Over fenders, wide body, whatever it is you want to call it. We kind of got to a certain point on this thing and then just stopped. You know, I moved on to other projects in which I've always had the intention of coming back to it. But today is now that day because we are waiting on parts for the Blazer. That is absolutely the only reason why I'm even working on the CRVs, because I'm waiting on parts for the Blazer. I'm just kidding, bro. I haven't lost interest in the CRV, but I do want to get it done, man. I want to get this thing done because I'm excited to see what it's gonna look like finally finished. So there ain't nothing left to it but to do it, man. We got to get into this. I'm gonna go grab all the stuff out of the backyard that I have put up for the over fenders. That is everything that we are going to need. And as far as tools, the only other thing that we need other than the fenders is tape. Yeah, we're going to be manufacturing and creating these things solely out of tape. Scotch tape, to be exact. High quality. All right, so I haven't shared this with you guys yet. Actually, I think I did put it on my subscriber only story on Instagram explaining how it is we are doing the rear, at least. But that was years ago, man. Like 2017 when I first started this build. So this is the section I actually cut off of the fender, and this is the front driver's side, obviously. I'll now take this to the rear passenger side, but spin it around. And that right there is basically the idea, man. So if you look back here, it's kind of perfect, dude. So the flat portion right here that originally lined up to the front bumper, it lines up to this flat portion on the back that kind of ends with the rear bumper, and then you followed it around and the end of the wheel arch ends right here at the bottom of the door, like exactly where it is you would want it to. Now, one important detail about this, and this is kind of what it is I'm going for, using this portion right here, it still utilizes this area in which we are able to put that factory plastic trim back on, like what's on the fenders here. So I'll be able to put that factory trim back on there, and it'll have kind of a factory look to it, you know what I'm saying? But the one thing that is going to kind of make this a little bit more difficult, and where the fabrication portion of this is going to come in, is it needs to be out wider, especially up here. So if you see, this section right here is wider than the back. It kind of tapers. That's how the front fenders are stock. So grabbing the other side, since I have the passenger side already all taped up, the idea is to do exactly how it is I have it taped over there, but to extend it away from the body. And then I'll just have to make a filler piece that goes from this outside edge to the actual body of the CRV. Our first step here is to just basically get it mocked up. I'm gonna start with the rear. And I knew I was gonna start with the rear. I don't know why I didn't back this thing in the first place. Grab our nice little chair. Bam. Okay, need tape. Tape, and I need, this is the driver's side, so I need passenger side. All right, for starters, I think I need to kind of trim a portion of this off, because I don't want this the whole thing to just come straight out. I'm thinking I kind of want this backside to be as wide as possible, but I want this point down here to kind of flex back in, something like that. So looking at it from the front, you will see the front of the tire, and looking at it from the back, you will see the back of the tire. I'm not 100% sure. I'm kind of as Puddin would say, say I'm shooting from the hip right now. Kind of figuring it out as I go. If I put this too terribly close to the tire, the suspension travel will be putting the tire directly into the quarter, and that's not what I want. All right, so going around that body line with the fine line tape just makes that body line like stand out so much more so that you can see it. Now going back with, I don't know how thick this is, probably 1.5 inches or so. Really, it doesn't matter. As long as I am keeping the passenger and driver side the same, then I'm happy. It's not rocket science, bro. It doesn't have to be perfect, at least not for me anyhow. So butting my tape right up against that fine line, I know that my measurement from the inside of the tape to the outside of the tape is going to be consistent going all the way around. Now I have myself a cut line, and it's something that's repeatable. I can repeat that exact process on the opposite side to make sure that they are in the ballpark close to one another. Or is it going to be possibly an 1/8 to a 1/16 of an inch off here and there? Yes, it probably will, but you're not going to ever see the left and the right side at the exact same time. It's going to be close enough. Alright, so that's going to be a lot better to work with, but now I have cut this down evenly from one side to the other. I feel like it needs to kind of taper whenever it gets over here, so this side needs to be narrower. So I need to figure out a way to trim this, but once again, I need to keep it to a point that I can replicate it. So I don't want to just send it and cut it off. I want to figure out where I want to cut it. Like I did with this tape method, I'll be able to repeat it on the opposite side. Alright, so I got this thing trimmed, and the way that I figured out how to make sure that they are symmetrical from left to right is I just went ahead and did them both at the same time. I got the passenger side caught up with where we had the driver's side. Then I went ahead and I marked the area that I wanted to cut in order to taper this down, and then I took that piece and I flipped it upside down and laid it on the other one, marked it, and then cut it. And yeah, so now they are as symmetrical as I'm going to be able to get them. So I grabbed this round rod and this piece of flat bar from Home Depot quite some time ago, so that this is for the CRV. What I'm going to use this stuff for is to cut little sections, basically to build spacers. Like my next step here is I need to figure out how far I want this out. So basically, like, let's say I want it right here. I can't just hold it there, you know what I'm saying, and make my template from here to here. I'm going to need to cut some little pieces of this off, and what I'm going to actually do is tack weld it to where it basically holds it there. So it'll all be tack welded in, and then I can go through and make my template of, you know, like what size and what the shape of the sheet metal is that we need to cut out in order to connect this piece to the body of the CRV. Pretty much where I'm at now, man. That's my next step. I've already got to bust the damn welder out. So this is what I've got so far. I'm really digging how this is coming out. So what it is I did, instead of just using this as a spacer, my original idea was to weld it on the inside of this piece, but I went ahead and I drilled holes inside of this so that those pieces will just slide through, and now it is up there and I have all the adjustability that I want. So originally when I first welded these on, I welded them directly to the body and they're just coming straight out. So as you can see, they are not going straight anymore. There's a lot of angles and bends and stuff to them, and that's me bending and manipulating it to hold it where it is that I want it to be. So at this point, I can actually go in from the back side and I can put some tacks on it back here. Then I can go ahead and lop off the front and then kind of tack it and grind it, tack it and grind it, and get it smooth to where these aren't sticking out anymore. But they will also serve as adding some structure to this, you know what I'm saying, and make it stronger than what it would have been if it's just sheet metal going up to the body. So I'm actually really satisfied with that. I know it looks pretty crazy right now. It looks like shit right now, you know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna see all that. So once I get all this welded in, then we'll come back and I gotta start making, figuring out exactly how I want this to be and start making a template so that we can cut some metal for it. I have two of them like right next to each other right here because that we are gonna have to obviously cut this so that the door will open. So I wanted one on each side so it'll hold this nice and sturdy whenever we do cut it. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at so far. I'm just gonna continue on it now. I'm just trying to kind of get it into position, get it where it is I want it to be. And then I gotta go through, tack it all in. And then before I start going any further, I'm gonna have to get this side caught up to the driver's side. That's probably the worst part about doing stuff like this is like, it's exciting figuring it out the first time, but then you still have a whole nother side. You have to mimic what it is you just did. I don't know, it's always a little bit easier the second time around because you've already done it, but it's still annoying. It's like, hey, yay, you get this feeling of like being done. Like I feel like I've made a lot of progress here, but I have to double what it is I've already done over there on the other side. You guys understand. I don't know why I'm explaining it. Alright, so once again I have both sides caught up to one another. Now I am going to start working on making the template for the return here, and I have drawn an outline out for basically the size that I want this to be. I don't know if I'm going to keep it like this, so basically I need to lay this out in tape. Whenever we put the tape on here, we're going to be able to get a better visual of what it is it's going to look like, and then I'll decide from there. So that line is basically where it is I want my sheet metal to come in contact with the body. So that is where I am going to be starting my tape off. So basically I'm going to start right here, taping this, going in that direction, and then going in that direction until we cover the whole entire thing. And it's all going to be strips like this. So I want to rip a strip off that is long enough to go from here to here. But what I'm going to do is I have to put the tape on the body first and then hold it to my line with my squeegee. And then bring it down and wrap it around the metal. Just like that. Oh my God, let me tell you guys, for starters, this is my first time ever doing this, okay? I've seen other people do it. This is my first time, so don't be coming for me, bro. Don't be coming for me. Anyhow, I was just telling Braven, I think I'm gonna leave these here because it kind of adds character. Yeah, that's it, man. Put in the comments what you think. I kind of like it, but at the same time, I kind of don't. I think what it is I want to do, I think I want the back to come in some. I think I want to narrow this. So I like the look of it kind of flaring out up towards the top and then coming back in. So it's kind of tight at the bottom, then kind of flaring out and then coming back in, you know what I'm saying? Braven and I were looking at it right now and it looks decent, you know what I'm saying? I was looking at it from the front, looking at it from the back, kind of thinking maybe I might make like a piece that comes down right here and like attaches to the bumper or something, I don't know. But the more and more I look at it, I found this angle. Something like right there. That's the goofy angle. You know what I'm saying? It's like you look at something and you look at something and then you find that goofy angle, bro. Like the wing definitely has a goofy angle. I'm not gonna show it to you. Yeah. So I think what's gonna fix the goofy angle on this is bringing this backside in some. Yeah, it shouldn't be so bad. So I need to do that first, and then what we'll do is just remove this piece of tape, and then that tape is now our template. And the way to get this symmetrical from driver's side to passenger side is I'm going to use this same template to cut both sides. So when I cut this one, obviously it'll go on like this, but when I cut the other one, it goes on backwards. You know what I'm saying? So then they are exactly the same, and if there is some fitment issues between, you know, putting that piece on this side and putting it on that side, that means that I need to adjust that piece that we have on there already. I'll need to adjust this piece to our piece of sheet metal that we cut out in order to make sure everything is symmetrical. I never noticed it before because of how wide open those wheel wells are, but the passenger side on the rear is actually ever so slightly lower than the driver's side. All right, here's V2, baby. So I'm a lot happier with this. I narrowed the back. I brought that in about 1 inch. And then I also extended this point out a little bit. So where that line is at, that is where the actual like over fender is gonna like end, and then it's gonna come down and meet with this. So with this piece, I also ended up having to trim a good portion of it. So pretty much like right above that little lip that it has, I trimmed all this metal off of there. But yeah, I think that just looks so much freaking better, bro. It got rid of that goofy angle. So yeah, I think that's it, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this peeled off of here. Jesus, damn car accident probably. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this peeled off of here now very carefully, because that is now our template that we need to cut out. Well, that is the idea here, is I'm just going through and I'm like stitch welding this. So I originally started off with like a weld like every 6 inches or so, then came back, put a weld in the middle of that. While doing so, using my compressed air, which is whistling like crazy, to just keep it cool so we don't have any crazy warpage going on. But you ain't gonna believe this, man. I am out of gas, and it's 5:30 in the afternoon, 5:30 in the evening, and the place where I get my gas filled up, like all those places, just now closed. They all close at like 5:30. Bro, you have gotta be kidding me right now. I mean, the only other thing I could do without my welder is get the other side cut out, but every single step of this requires welding, dude. hello, my camera battery died. Anyhow, what was I saying? Oh, every single bit of this requires welding, so it's like, what am I supposed to do whenever I don't have any gas? So, I'm gonna at least I gotta trim this. So this piece needs to be trimmed, this piece needs to be cut out. I figured I could at least get this cut, that trimmed, and then maybe I'll go ahead and try to get this tacked without gas, because I should be able to at least go through and do it, you know, a couple tacks. I mean, because that's the most difficult part, is getting it up there and getting it all lined up and all that. So if I can at least get that done, then in the morning I can run and go fill this freaking thing up, man, and we'll be able to carry on, but in a different video, because this has already taken me 2 days to get to this point. Ah, man, the struggles, bro. The struggle is real. Tacked on there for now. That's about all I can really do without freaking gas. I really don't like the way this thing is welding without gas. It tries to burn holes and shit really easily, you know what I mean? So I don't want to try to send it without the gas. I want to do it right. So in the morning I'm gonna go and pick up more, and then we will pick back up on this and get it finished, at least the back anyhow. I haven't even started on the front. I don't even know what it is I'm gonna do with the front yet. I figure we'll just cut them and figure it out as we go, you know what I'm saying? I hope you guys are enjoying how it's coming out. Let me know in the comments. Peace out, and I'll see you on the next one.